Hey everybody, OriginalRen here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, for those of you who are watching this video right now, if you're staring at the screen, you will see that there is a big cover on here for the Akihabara 2015 Original Ren Guidebook that I am currently creating. And while this video has recently been deleted, if those of you were frequenting my YouTube channel at the time or are subscribers of my YouTube channel, you may have noticed that I released a video revealing this guidebook when I had lost my voice and wasn't really speaking as much, but I wanted to go back and make sure I made a proper introduction to what this guidebook's going to be about and hopefully get some ideas or what you think about the guidebook in general. So today what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to explain a little bit about the history of how this all started, what I'm trying to do in this guidebook, what the guidebook's all about, and also go through something that I've already completed for the guidebook and kind of showcase that, which I'll get more into that later in the video. The first thing I kind of want to talk about though is what actually started this guidebook idea and what's it all about. So around the time in June when I was on my vacation, I really realized that I was focusing a lot of my videos on Akihabara, and a lot of people would usually say that is because Ren, you're a weeaboo and you're really into otaku stuff and you are an otaku yourself. And while that is true, I wanted to make those videos because I just really enjoyed being in the area, and I would constantly go back and I'll make these little tiny updates, and the tiny updates might have annoyed some people and were like, why are you making these tiny updates for these stupid buildings when I'm never going to visit this building? I think it's because it's just such an interesting city and I love being in it that I really want to showcase it to other people because the people here are extremely accepting. The city life is awesome. The lights, the sounds, everything about it is just extremely fun and extremely interesting. And I wanted to make sure I allowed people who are visiting Japan, who are visitors, tourists, or whatever it may be from any different country, that they can enjoy this as much as I do, even Japanese people. Now, the goal with this guidebook is that I want to help people visiting the area in an easy to read format and let them enjoy Akihabara and get the most out of it in the biggest benefit. While this guidebook will focus on a lot of otaku goods, such as figure collecting, anime, manga, doujins, visual novels, and all sorts of other things in the 2D animation industry of Japan, this is also meant as a guidebook for families, people who just want to know the history of Electric Town, what is the big fame about Akihabara and why is it so big in the area of Higashi Tokyo. And I'm hoping that this will be a guide that people really just have fun reading. You know, I say about this crap about enjoyment and all this stuff, and I want people to enjoy it, but I want people to have fun. Even if you're never going to visit the country, I want you to be able to read this and go, wow, there's so much information in here, and it's really easy to read. So essentially speaking, what I'm hoping to do with this guidebook is have a bunch of people help me out, such as my friends who are from Portugal, France, and all these different countries, to translate this into many different languages at some point is a really big ambition of mine, to be able to hand it out to people and not charge any money for any of this, but just to have people enjoy what it's all about. And one of the hardest things about making this guidebook is I've written over 37 different articles for this guidebook, and they're all complete. And currently, I'm looking for some editors to help me go through them because, let's be honest, I'm not that great in English writing when it comes to English writing. But I want to be able to go back and make sure these articles are all finished, and now it's just a matter of formatting. Now, I set an original date of December of 2015 was when I hope to finish this. I'm hoping it could be a little bit earlier, but given the fact that there's just so much time consumption when it comes to formatting, and I've been a part of a newspaper class in high school, the formatting takes a while, and it's not necessarily because I can't work, it's just because it's hard to make decisions on how you want to format this. This is like the 7th cover page that you see on your screen right now that I've gone through for this guidebook, and I'm sure it'll change again. I'm trying to figure out what the best layout design is, just what fits my needs. Today I spent about 9 hours or more working on a map of Akiba, which is what I'm going to show actually. I guess I'll reveal that now. It's what I'm going to actually show you as we get further along in this video. I'll show you some images of that map. And it's just a matter now of formatting it and going through all of it. But essentially how the guidebook is going to work is when you open it up, you have the cover page here. You'll have a foreword from me as well as some thank you notes and other small little tidbits of information and a little bit of history about Akihabara as a city and why it was called Electric Town and things like that, and what I know at least about the city. In addition, it will then go into a bunch of different maps of the area and focus just on Akihabara. One thing that many people might think this guidebook will be is kind of a guidebook to how to get around in Japan, and that's not my intention. While I will give some hints as to how to use some of the train line stuff and what's the most effective way to do stuff, I want to keep it focused on just Akihabara because it's very dangerous very boring actually, that this guidebook will become so massive that it'll just be another typical guidebook of here's how you get a commuter pass, here's how you do this. And that's not really my focus. My focus is just on how do you get here and what is there to do here for people that have all these different hobbies. And essentially how that works is when you get to these map sections, it'll have a giant map, which I'm going to show you here, in addition to some other small maps of the train lines and how it all connects and hotels and things like that. And essentially what'll happen is when you turn the page, or the next few pages, you'll come to a big list in alphabetical order of all the things that are listed and labeled on the map. Well, the important stuff, because not everything I label on there is going to be in the list. Obviously, I label some police stations, which you'll see here, Koban in this case, but I'm not going to list the Koban because what am I going to say? This is a Koban. You can get help here. Well, yeah, of course, right? So I'm really not going to list that, but it will have a majority of the buildings on there in alphabetical order, and essentially there'll be page numbers next to them. And you simply just find the store you want from the map. When you're in front of it, you go to that page number and you can read in an easy to read format what you can do in Akiba and what it's all about. For example, I choose Gamers Akihabara, and you turn to the page of Gamers Akihabara after finding it on the map and coming in and out of the JR line, and you go in the building and you want to know what each floor has, what kind of goods are specialty here, what can I find. And obviously I'm not going to go through each store, take pictures, and give you every last little detail about every little item that's currently for sale, but it's essentially saying, you know, if you want to visit the awesome museum space on the 8th floor, then go do that. Or the 7th floor, there's another museum space as well for certain anime, for certain video games, for all sorts of things. The most recent one was the Angel Beats and Key Visual Arts museum that they have, and there was one for Lump of Sugar games and visual novels. Phantasy Star Online 2, the new anime that was airing, Umaru-chan, and the dungeon one with Hestia, which I absolutely hate Hestia. Sorry for anyone watching that video. I think she's just overhyped. But getting back on track, it'll essentially just be a mix of everything. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with this guide. And I want to keep it on track to that. So let's jump right in. I kind of want to show you a little bit about these maps I've been making. And this is the finished product for the map I've created. And essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to show you two images. The image is very tall in height. So what I'm going to do is show you the bottom half first, and then switch the image after explaining it a little bit, and then switch to the top half. The reason I'm doing that is because if I fit it to the screen, the text becomes a little small and it's hard to read. Obviously, it'll be much better when you get a PDF format, or if I do actually print maybe 1 or 2 hard copies of this, and I have the money to do it. It's possibly a Kickstarter idea. That'd be really awesome to pay for the fees to print actual hard copies of these books if it's very successful, and you know, actually pay for all the printing costs. Then that'd be awesome. I'm trying to really make this a thing, and I'm hoping it'll be really big for a lot of people. So with that said, let's go into a little detail about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the first image, and then we'll kind of explain it as I go through it. So hang on one sec. Alright, so as you see here, we have the bottom half of the Akihabara map I've created. Now there's a lot of different stuff on here, and I obviously can't use a mouse pointer with this image being shown, so I'll try to explain it as best I can. As you can see on the side here, I've listed a couple little notes. I've added a bunch of cool little images to kind of spice it up a little bit, try to label it with color as best I can, really made it easy to understand. And it actually is very easy to understand once you get your footing and understand the orientation. So right smack dab in the center there, you see the JR Akihabara station with its 3 connecting lines, in addition to a couple subway lines that you'll see later on, which are the Hibiya line and the Ginza line. And that's all labeled on the notes over here. Yamanote is green, Keihin Togo is blue, and Chuosobu is east to west, which is the yellow or gold, I guess in this case, line. And labeled on there, you can see that it says north stops Ueno Ikebukuro. We have west stops is Shinjuku. East stops is Ryogoku, which is the sumo town and has the Edo history museum as well, in addition to Chiba, which is more the countryside. And going toward Chiba is actually Narita International Airport, so if you're coming right from the airport, you can figure that you'll probably take the Chuosobu line or a similar Keihin line that doesn't actually go into Akiba, so you'll probably take the Chuosobu line, which actually heads out to Narita Airport if you want to go right into Akihabara. And I'll explain that in the guidebook, obviously, for how to get to the city. But you have the train lines here, and I kind of help you on the labeling and what things look like. And then in addition, I have some little side key icons down here, which are visual novels are sold here. And the reason I did this is because my channel primarily focuses on visual novels and the promotion of visual novels, because that's the kind of community I'm from, being a part of Funavel. In addition, we have Wi-Fi hotspots for people who don't have Japanese phones, because if you don't have a SoftBank, AU, or Docomo phone, or some kind of Wi-Fi hotspot you're carrying around, it's very difficult to use a foreign phone in the area, and these are free Wi-Fi that you can find. And obviously there's only one in this image right now you see, because there aren't that many in Japan, so you have to be very careful of where you're actually getting Wi-Fi. Taxis, buses in case of emergency, Koban, or in this case police stations. Food that you can find, obviously I've labeled food for everything, so we have Burger King on the very far right over there of the bottom right corner of the map, in addition to things like McDonald's and all sorts of Japanese cuisine as well. And then ATMs if you're looking to take out foreign currency. Now, obviously, there's more ATMs than what I label on here, and again, you can only see one on here. But these ATMs are if you want to take out increments less than 10,000 yen, which on an even exchange rate for United States dollars is around $100. And sometimes people don't want to take out that much money and carry it around with them. Now, Japan is a very money-oriented place. Most of the stuff in Akiba, which I go through all this in the guidebook, allow you to use cards on their ATMs and stuff. And I've explained this in some of my videos in my blog as well, especially the Ultimate Otaku videos from part 1 and 2 for going through all the stores. But essentially speaking, I kind of label everything on here for people just visiting the area, and it's pretty easy to understand and find what you're looking for. So this is the first tab. In addition, I've labeled right on here the Akihabara strip. Now, for those of you who do not know what a strip is, if you've been to Las Vegas or are familiar with Las Vegas has what is called the Las Vegas Strip. It essentially is one side of the road. In this case, this is Chuodori, which is a very main street in Higashi Tokyo, or East Tokyo. And it runs from one end of the strip all the way to another end. And it's about 10 or 15 minutes to walk the whole strip, maybe a little less depending on your walking speed. So it is just one side of the street, and essentially speaking, everything on the left and everything on the right, as you can see, the majority of the buildings are all right next to that strip, or that street in this case. There's a couple things in the back alleyways and the back roads, but essentially most of the buildings are right along the strip. And during nighttime, this is where the most lights are shown, and all the neon lights and things, and the city's lit up. But I've also labeled a strip here for you, so if you actually want to enjoy it in its fullest extent, this is one way to explore it. So this is the bottom half of the map. There really isn't anything that needs to be explained right now, because obviously a lot of these different streets and a lot of these different stores, actually, not streets, my apologies, will be listed on a future page, and it will allow you to basically look them up alphabetically, turn to the page, and find what you're looking for. There's also going to be quick guides for people that are on a budget or just only have a day to be in Akiba, one of the most important stores. So this is the bottom half. Let's quick switch the image to the top half so I can show you that as well. Alright, so here's the top half of it. Again, we have a compass to orient you going north, and then we also have the continue to keep a strip. You see it kind of overlaps from the previous image. And then this is all one image, by the way. This is just two different images to show like the size of it. And then you also have, for example, the Ginza line up there. You have another Wi-Fi hotspot, another ATM, and just kind of as you get to the end of the strip, things start to die down. But essentially, when you reach that Tom Tom Hobby Shop way at the top near Coco Curry House, you're done with visiting the Akiba strip, and everything else is kind of just, there may be some random buildings in there, but they're not going to have anything new that you can't already find on the strip, for example. So this is essentially the map portion of the guidebook, and I'm hoping that in the next couple days with editing and things I can continue pushing through this. This is a very time-consuming thing, not because I have anything really to create anymore, but things like that map take a long time. It's a lot of formatting. You want to make it look really impressive. And if I want to get a Kickstarter out of this and eventually get money to maybe publish some of this, in this case, get the money for printing and going to actual nice printer and getting like a book format with edits and things, I want to be able to afford it, and I want to be able to show something that people will be excited for. And I hope that this is something that you kind of look forward to, especially with that map. I hope that really kind of showcases the kind of effort I'm putting into this guidebook. And essentially when things get rolling and I understand the format, it'll work a little bit better. But like I said, I'm still changing the cover title because it's just very hard for me to decide what I want to do with this guidebook. So hopefully this is a cool video for you guys to kind of explain what I'm hoping to do with the Akihabara guidebook, and I hope it's something you're really looking forward to, especially just to read, even if you're never going to visit anytime soon, because while it is a 2015 guidebook, if I ever did want to update it in the future, it wouldn't be that difficult because I could easily just adjust the map to change the stores. And because Akiba never really changes the interior of their stores and what they're selling, and that's why I'm not going into too much detail, because like layouts will also change inside the stores. But essentially speaking, it'll be a small change if anything. Like Radio Kaiken switched its third floor from its fourth floor of what they sell and just kind of move things around. Why, I don't know, but that's easy to figure out. Once you know what you're looking for, you can easily figure it out, and it's not difficult. And there really wasn't any construction going on that I was there, so I don't see anything new happening in the future. If anything, a new building might pop up, but that's just easily addable as well. And if I ever visit the country again, I can update it. But I want something that's kind of recent and something people can enjoy. So, thanks guys for joining me in this video. I hope you really appreciated it. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. I love new subscribers and hope you can follow all my content. Feel free to check out any of my playlists I currently make, which include podcast episodes for the Fuucast, which is a visual novel podcast that focuses on 2D animation, anime, and mostly visual novels and the industry that exists around it for the West and in Japan. In addition, I have some playlists for more Akiba videos. If you're new to Akihabara and have never really been there and really just kind of want to find out what it's all about, feel free to check out those videos as well on my playlist. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much as always for watching my video. And hopefully with the Google Plus finally going away soon, I hope, I can start commenting back to my subscribers to really show how thankful I am, because I'm always thankful for you guys contributing to my video. Please leave some comments in the comment section about your thoughts. Please leave some comments in the comment section describing what you want to look for in this guidebook and how helpful you think this might be. I've given 5 tours of this place, and during those 5 tours I've had foreigners ask me for help because they realize that I can speak English and they just really want somebody that kind of understands the city for what it's worth. This guidebook is meant to help you kind of do everything for not only just visitors and tourists, but also residents of Japan who are living here or maybe studying abroad and want to actually visit and get more out of this. And for those residents, I might even explain how to open up soft map cards and things like that with an actual address in Japan and what it gives you as a benefit inside the district itself. So, I'm Original Ren. Thanks for watching my video. I love female butts, especially in the 2D industry. And you guys all stay really awesome. Thanks guys for watching this video, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out.